Hello friends, Paul Casey Kenpo Karate. Going to continue with our series of Kenpo Fusion, as I call it. And it's something I learned from Frank Trejo. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking our Kenpo techniques and principles and then adding the concepts of boxing as taught by Frank Trejo. So, putting those two together, what I have here with me today is Century Bob. I call him the perfect dummy. Great kind of training device for those of you that have one. And I'm going to set Bob up to look like an assailant wearing his mask during these trying times that we're dealing with. Sorry, Bob. Can you breathe? I hope so. Anyway, as you can see, so our assailant's here, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about simply two principles, okay? Which the first one, on the left-hand side with Frank, would be your jab, your rear punch, and either uppercut or your hook. And this all stems from lower body rotation. The essential thing that you have to remember is that your lower body is where your foundation comes from and your power. A lot of the videos that I've seen online and a lot of practitioners don't focus on that as much. And it's really essential. And if you go back and you read any of Mr. Parker's books, he will always tell you that the basics were the essence and the secrets to Chinese Kenpo karate, the way he taught it. So remember, you're in a good foundation, good stance. Bend those knees. Get your weight evenly proportioned. If you're a fighter, you know what I'm talking about. The weight is a little more on the front, the rear heel is lifted up. That way you can rotate and create power through your rotation, which will create torque, and then will result in the strike being much more faster, more efficient, with less effort. And you can see that with the great boxers. So Frank was big on that. He'd use the left hand, and he would use it basically here as a guide to see what kind of distance he could create and the timing for his opponent. A lot of boxers will use that jab as an offensive move to drive him back, and others will use it to keep their distance. Trejo's idea was to do the better of them both by using it more to guide and set up your opponent so you could hit with the rear counter punch, okay? So just think about that rotation, because we use that a lot in a lot of techniques. Most of the sister techniques, family groupings of Thundering Hammer, the Dance of Death, or the Sleeper have that same lower body rotation, okay? And then when you switch to the right side, then what do you have? You have more of our Chinese system that Parker had with your strikes. So work it where you have that back knuckle, strike, 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 and then hit with the rear punch. And then come on with the uppercut. So you're rotating on this guy. So it's here, bam, 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 and then here. And you can change it any way you want. If you do the other side, the right side, obviously, you can still have the front jab, the rear punch, and the hook. But we see that technique and that principle used in Five Swords. Okay? And you'll see a lot of people do this with their arms. That's a no-no. I'm sorry, I'm going to call it out. Trejo instilled that into me. I hope you understand that. So that when you do your lower body rotation behind the strikes, you'll get your power that you need. All right? So have it. Anyway, I hope that helps you. Good luck with your Kenpo training. Until we meet again, salute.